How does our product challenge forms and conventions?
I think when we look at our film, we see that there's a lot of themes taken from other films, sort of like
James Bond,
like Sin City, Seven, Taken, which we've sort of used and sort of changed around,
manipulated all together
the
into
whole,
one thing.
The whole actual idea was based off Taken.
It was like the kidnap and the
That's
father-daughter relationship.
When it came down to like different types of editing, we used like films that like the Sin City one with the whole black and white, but then there's a bit of colour and there's a bit of light added onto it.
Yeah.
So we used that, which
it was quite an interesting idea.
It was, yeah. God, this is a really hard question, isn't it?
I know. How we diverted away from it.
Well, we kind of looked at what made that.
Good.
How can we looked at how
used
what
lots
made
of
it good,
stuff, and instead of having it
incorporated it all together in ours and brought in our own stuff.
Yeah.
So basically,
we took a mash of different ideas and then just blended them into
we sort of took on our own ideas, looked how good it was in those films, and then sort of
take a couple of ideas from it and then suit it to our plot. Kind of thing.
Sort of mix it all together. Like there was a scene on Dirty Harry, which is quite a similar storyline, where it's a detective looking for someone, where at the start you see his face and you sort of look who he is, what type of person he is. We've sort of want to try and do that with the detective when he was looking at obviously with drinking, the board full of all names, like sort of like he's quite focused with his work, his dark room, he's like alone, and sort of themes like that.
Yeah. It's interesting to think that crime thrillers is quite an old theme and quite an old genre.
Yeah.
And it seems like
we're
trying to reinvent.
Yeah, because if you look at all the different crime thrillers they generally have the same kind of
Miss
concept.
Marple and Poirot coming out for the older generation. We tried to bring it back to the younger generation.
So it's like
make
a bit
it
more modern.
Yeah, a bit more darker, something that hasn't really been seen.
Something that's like today's like different kind of media, like today's film, like try to fit it with that kind of thing. What the most popular things are today.
We tried to follow in a Disappearance of Alice Creed kind of.
Yeah.
It's got like it relates to the younger audience, but still has the content of an older
kind of
genre.
Challenges conventions, but also still sticks by like the fundamental conventions of the
understandable.
Film.
Yeah.
Sort of a bit like an old film, just given like a revamp with it.
Yeah, like a
polish
rebirth.
off. Yeah.
It's because, for example, with westerns, they were popular in like 1970s, but when it came to the 1980s, they weren't that popular. Then it came to the 1990s. There was some revival. Then in the year 2000, then they started becoming more, which is kind of what's happening with the crime thrillers. That's what we tried to portray with our.
And we're also trying to take things from what happened in the media and what happened in everyday life, and we're trying to
draw upon it.
And we're taking on everyone's fears. Like for instance, at the moment with all the paedophilia charges and sexual offences, and everything, kidnapping, and it's scary to the audience.
And that's what they don't really like Hollywood. They would show films like this, but they would sugarcoat it. Yeah. But with ours, like again, probably said earlier,
which is why it's a 15, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think that's pretty much it, isn't it?